How far do you guys go back, and what's your relationship like?
It was just kind of fast, but this coaching circle is pretty small. So I spent 6 years at Sac State, and Coach Av spent one of his first years in the profession at Sac State, and so we kind of just talked about that. And then obviously working with Kirby Moore last year, I had some familiarity with these guys.
So why switch from Fresno to Boise State?
Just growing up on the West Coast, this Bleed Blue brand is kind of national and a flagship program of the West Coast, so that was really intriguing to me.
What Kirby say that stood out about Boise State?
Well, it's just more kind of how Kirby operated coming from here, and now that I've been in the building a couple of days, I can see why he operates how he does. But he just said it's an awesome place to raise a family, and it's a great program, obviously.
What is that? Familiarity, obviously, in the Mountain West Conference. What do you think of George Milani, and what has it been like getting to know him over these last few weeks, too?
He's awesome, really awesome. I had got a chance last season to see him live twice, and he's even a better person than he is on the field, and that's what's really awesome about him as a kid.
You mentioned being around here, you can see why Kirby operated that way. Is there any examples or specifics, like what that means?
I think anybody that kind of walks in this building can kind of feel the standard in here, and it's I don't know if you can really say it, but you can feel it.
How intriguing, just what you have, you mentioned George, but Ashton and just the whole group, and how intriguing was that when you were looking at this job?
Well, I mean, looking at the personnel, I wasn't looking too much at that. I was just looking at the program overall. And if you look at this program over the last 20 years, it's unbelievable, the things that it's been able to do, especially as a group of five.
Well, you had what I'm sure was a pretty scary experience as a player, dealing with compartment syndrome, right? Can you kind of tell me that story and how it affected you?
Yeah, it was kind of a freak accident. I've been more dealing with the knee injury, and then that one just kind of rose up.
Mm-hmm.
But I think after the injury, just the battle back to get on the field, it just kind of grew my love for football. And I knew I wasn't going to be the same player I was before the injury, but just the grit and determination it took to be able to get back out on the field and actually play football again.
That's such a crazy experience. I mean, you could have lost your leg. I mean, has that impacted you even as you become a coach? Like, does it affect you now?
Well, I don't think it affects me too much now.
Mm-hmm.
I can run and get around the field how I want to, but I just think it kind of built that determination and that ultra love for football, and it's what I look for when I'm recruiting guys now.
There's obviously a structure here in terms of the program, but what's your superpower? What's the one thing you want to add or enhance or change the running back room?
I don't think I mean, the last coach that they had here was a really good coach, and I have a lot of respect for him, and so I'm just going to bring my own flair and do it my way, kind of how I teach the guys, but hopefully just uphold the standard and probably try to make it rise a little bit higher.
How would you describe your own flair, your own style?
Well, just my personality, and so I think one of the things that I do a really good job of is just connecting with the kids and showing them that I love them, and so that's really how I'm able to bring the most out of them, because it goes both ways. But just respecting them, loving them, and taking care of them on and off the field.
What makes a good running back? Like, how do you build a good running back? I know they come in different shapes and sizes and all that stuff, but like, what's the foundation for a good running back?
I think number one, just toughness. I mean, you're gonna have lightning in a bottle, and then you're gonna have chain movers. But if you're tough, you take care of the football, and you can protect the quarterback. I think those are all the makings for a good running back.
Is toughness something you develop? Is it something you recruit? Like, how do you do that?
I mean, I think that's something that you can kind of see with going through doing the recruiting process, and then just kind of getting to know the kid and knowing the people around him and kind of seeing how they operate.
What did you learn working under Bo Baldwin for those years?
I mean, Bo is just an awesome coach, and he's just such a special person in connecting with the kids and being transparent. And I'd say probably just transparency with the kids on a day in, day out basis.
Are you more of a believer, like in the bell cow back versus a running back by committee? Fresno, obviously, it felt like you like the one guy and you ride him. Here, looks like you got a lot of guys in the room. What are your philosophies on that, Coach? Are we going to see multiple backs carrying the rock on?
I think that always kind of depends on the situation. You know, kind of the newer model with running backs, you always want 2 or 3 that can potentially play, because obviously you want some different skill sets and guys that can do different things. But I really just think it depends on the year.
I was talking with Bush a couple weeks ago. He says that you guys didn't really know each other before you got hired. So what is your relationship like with Bush?
I mean, just as the process, as I started to, the process started to go on a little bit more. We had numerous talks, and we were just like-minded dudes, and so it kind of just worked out. And the first time I talked to him, it was like I had talked to him before, and so it's just kind of funny how it works. I worked with two of Bush's old GAs, and just kind of seeing how dialed they were and seeing what they had to say about Bush, it was just like, it was kind of a no-brainer for me there.
Ashton Genty is a guy who looks like he has a really bright future in this program. What's kind of been your impression getting to know him the last couple of weeks?
Well, I mean, the thing that really shocked me about everybody in this program is just how they are. They're, number one, they're great people off the field. And then once you get to engage with them, you can see that they're just smart, intelligent, and they're just good people. So I'm just excited to get to know everybody on the team and continue working with the running backs as well, because we're still very new. We've only had about 2 or 3 meetings together.
So was coaching always in the cards for you? And if not, when did you know you wanted to do this?
Kind of when I got done playing, I needed a little refresh. So once I got done, I went home and worked a little bit, and I saw the lights of a high school, and one of my old coaches reached out to me and said, "Do you want to come coach?" And I got the itch, and the next season rolled back around, and I kind of knew I wanted to coach. And I didn't know if I wanted to go the high school route, be a teacher, high school coach. But then after that, I just started to hit up a lot of my old coaches, and then it kind of just worked out where a GA spot opened at Weber State, and I was able to go take it, and then the rest is kind of history.
You mentioned you worked. What'd you do?
At Weber?
No, before you started coaching.
I was just working odd jobs. I worked at Enterprise Rent-A-Car for a little bit. I worked at GNC, and then I worked at Marriott Hotels as a bellhop. So yeah.
Are you like the recruiting coordinator or something also? Right?
Yeah.
But nowadays you got all this staff and recruiting staff and all this, and probably doesn't mean the same as it did 10, 15 years ago. But what do you do for that also?
Well, there's definitely the recruiting department, but I work as a liaison between the full-time coaches and the recruiting department. If there's suggestions, concerns, or anything that they want to get done with the pipeline, I kind of play like the middleman between the recruiting department and the staff.
It wasn't that long ago here that like multi-year contracts and stuff were pretty unique. Just curious that for you as an assistant, like what does that security mean anything to you? Is that a big deal for you?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, it's an investment into me, and one of the main things when you get into college football and the profession is stability. That's one of the rough parts. And so whenever somebody extends that offer out to you, it means a lot. And so it it definitely made me want to come in and do a really good job here, because this is a place that after you come around the city a little bit, it's a really awesome place and a place I'd like to stay.
How much during your first couple weeks being that recruiting coordinator, do you have to talk with Coach Avalos about the type of person that Boise State wants to recruit and what types of kids he likes? 'Cause I'm guessing that's probably different than what you've had at previous stops.
No doubt. Kind of the main thing is I gotta really learn the flow and how things are done here first before I can really get into that coordinator position. But that's kind of the groundwork we've been laying over the past couple of weeks, just how we do things here at Boise State. And I'm continuing to learn more and more on that every single day. But I can tell you the standard here is really high, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to come be a part of this program.
What's Coach Montgomery like away from football? Do you have family? Are you single? Do you have passions away from football? Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
My family will be moving out. I have a girlfriend. I have a little boy. They'll be moving out at the end of the month. But really, this job is pretty demanding. So once I'm off, I try to spend as much time as I can with them.
How old's your little boy?
He'll be 2 March 26th.
What's his name?
Jackson.
CK?
Nah, XON.
XON?
Yes.
You gotta ask these days.
The running back, he was talking about different, how you use running backs. Why do you think now people don't use 2 in the backfield at the same time?
I mean, if you look at Boise State, and I know Fresno State a little bit last year, we definitely used 2 backs, but I think the game's just evolved a little bit to more spread sets, and a lot of teams don't use them, but I think it's definitely an advantage when you got 2 backs in the backfield. It puts a little bit of stress on the defense.
Kind of building on that, what does it do for you when you put George Lonnie and Ashton Genty in the backfield together?
Hopefully it scares the defenses.
Taylor Green too. I mean,
Hey,
you've seen
hey,
him, and
hey.
you see the running quarterback. How does that help a running backs coach with his guys knowing that And you got a quarterback that can pick yards up off foot too.
I don't want to get too much into schematics, but whenever you have a quarterback that can run, it definitely changes structurally what the defense, what they do and how they attack you. So I'll just say it definitely helps the run game out, but it definitely stresses the defense out as well.